Okay, so are you ready to dive in?
Yeah, let's do it.
Awesome. Today, we're tackling a pretty heavy phrase, survival of the fittest. But we're going to look at it through a very specific lens.
Oh.
We've got these 2 YouTube videos, right?
Right.
Both from creators in Cape Town, South Africa. And they're using this phrase, survival of the fittest.
Interesting.
But it's not about, like, lions hunting zebras.
Yeah.
It's something else entirely.
Yeah, I'm intrigued. What is it about then?
Well, it's about daily life in Cape Town.
Yeah.
But more specifically for these creators who identify as Cape Colored.
Cape colored. So I'm not super familiar with that term.
Yeah, and I think a lot of our listeners might not be either.
Yeah, probably not.
It's definitely a term with a lot of history behind it. So maybe you can give us a little breakdown of, like, what does Cape Colored actually mean?
Sure. So Cape colored is a term that's really unique to South Africa. It's rooted in their history of colonialism and racial mixing.
Yeah.
But it's not just about skin color. It's a whole cultural identity.
Yeah.
You know, their own language, traditions, even foods.
It's like a whole community.
Exactly.
Huh.
And this is important, especially in a post-apartheid South Africa. You know, they often talk about this feeling of not quite fitting in.
Like being caught between worlds.
Yeah.
And you definitely get that sense from these videos.
Interesting.
There's like this raw energy, very street slang, and almost like a sense of defiance. Let's actually listen to a little clip to get a feel for it. Okay.
Yeah, let's do it.
Here we go.
Fear the life. The streets is life.
Whoa.
Wait, I don't know about you, but that line, fear the life, the streets is life. That just hit me.
Yeah, that's powerful stuff. There's a real weight to those words. It's not theoretical. It feels very real.
Right. It's like survival is not some abstract idea.
It's their everyday experience. And both videos keep coming back to this phrase, survival of the fittest, right?
Right.
But it's interesting how they use it. I mean, they're not talking about competition in the traditional sense.
No. I think it's more about resilience in this case.
Resilience, exactly.
Adapting to a really tough environment.
Yeah.
Both physically and socially.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And they don't sugarcoat anything either.
No, they don't.
They talk about violence,
Yeah. gangs,
weapons. Even, they mention how even going to the train station can be dangerous.
Like even the security guards. They're like,
Yeah.
Yeah.
They even say, like, you can't even trust the security guards.
exactly.
It's wild.
It really makes you think about what survival actually means when you're constantly on edge like that.
Yeah, when your daily life is like that.
Yeah.
And this is where I think their identity, like being Cape colored in a country that's supposed to be this rainbow nation,
Right.
it all ties in, right?
Yeah, definitely. I mean, the speaker talks about feeling like they don't belong, like they're too yellow to be white, not black enough.
Yeah.
And, you know, that really makes you think about how survival of the fittest becomes about more than just physical safety.
Right.
It's about finding your place, asserting your identity, even when society doesn't quite have a box for you.
Yeah. And it makes you think about how, like, the legacy of apartheid is still there.
Yeah.
You know, even though South Africa has officially moved on, there are still these deep social and economic divides.
Yeah, absolutely. And I think within that context, survival of the fittest takes on a whole new meaning. You know, it's about navigating a system that might be working against you.
Yeah.
About finding a way to not just survive, but actually thrive.
To thrive, yeah.
And maybe even finding strength in that shared experience of marginalization.
Exactly. Like a community that understands what you're going through.
Yeah, exactly.
But even amidst all that, they still talk about hope and that line, but by grace, we parted the human race. It's just like, wow.
It's powerful.
Yeah.
Even when facing all this hardship and exclusion,
Yeah.
they still hold on to this sense of connection, this yearning to belong to something bigger.
Yeah.
It's a testament to the human spirit.
It really is.
You know?
There's a lot to unpack here, so much to think about.
Yeah.
So for everyone listening, we want you to consider this. What does survival of the fittest mean in your own life? Is it about competition? Is it about resilience? Something else entirely?
Yeah, good question.
And how do your own experiences with identity, with belonging, how does that all play into it? We'd like to hear your thoughts.